Good evening, dear fellow viewers. Thanks for joining us on this evening edition of Essential African Information. We commence with a sad note of the burial of Senator Simon Achidiachu that went successful on Saturday, July 3rd, 2021. It was a sad weekend for Cameroon in general and the people of Santa Subdivision in particular, as they laid to rest the first ever Anglophone Prime Minister, Senator Simon Achidiachu. Prior to this ceremony, the head of state, President Paul Biya, had organized a special funeral celebration to lay the fallen hero to rest. Represented by Prime Minister Chief Dr. Joseph Diangote, Senator Simon Achidiachu began his final journey in his native Santa land in the northwest region of Cameroon. He died on May 4, 2021 in the United States after a protracted illness at the age of 87. Despite his political and judicial stance, the late Achidiachu was noted for serving the Republic of Cameroon from 1992 to 1996 after being the Minister of Justice from 1972 to 1975. The deceased had waged a war against the SDF political party during the 1992 elections. Ahead of this election, he had called on Cameroonians to vote for the CPDM as the only means to avert potential violence and instability. He was replaced in 1996 as Prime Minister by Peter Mafane Musonge. We move over to Cameroon's economic capital for the third consecutive time. Douala has hosted this Monday, July 5, 2021, the opening of the 12th edition of the African Banking Forum. This edition, which closes on July 6, will not only trigger a forward-looking debate on the African Bank of tomorrow, but also a touch on a range of topics on the emergence of digital and multi-channeled banking, the impact of disruptive technologies, new trends in banking, information systems, and of course the future of traditional banking and electronic banking in Cameroon. It should be noted that this event is held in a hybrid format, face-to-face for a maximum capacity of 200 participants and in virtual retransmission, giving the opportunity to thousands of participants around the whole wide world to actively participate in this edition and to interact with African actors around the globe. The humanitarian service providers, Doctors Without Borders, have denied all allegations levied against them as concerns them providing aid to non-state armed groups in Cameroon's restive northwest region and southwest region. In its recent report dated July 5, 2021, the non-governmental organization affirms he has never facilitated the transportation of arms, ammunition, or armed combatants, and has never provided logistical or financial support to any of the parties involved in the ongoing conflicts in this country. In Cameroon, as everywhere else in the world, we operate in the strictest respect of our charter, which requires us to act in a framework of total independence, the release stated, noting that Doctors Without Borders have been working in Cameroon for the past 35 years and in the crisis-hit region since 2018, when the crisis took another turn. Recently, the team's operation coordinator for Central Africa, that's Emmanuel Lampard, noted that vital medical services have been denied for 6 months now, and this is taking an unacceptable toll on Cameroonian citizens, many of whom have fled to the bushes, unable to bear the sight, sounds, and threat of violence anymore. We continue to South Africa, where embattled former South African President Jacob Zuma has addressed supporters, fans outside his home, declaring that he will not go to jail. Zuma, who was visibly dancing and singing Mishuwam, which means bring my machine gun, in his home, spoke on the deadline set by the Constitutional Court to hand himself over to the start of a 15-month jail term. He told his supporters and fans that he had sent letters to the court pleading the case, that his sentence was wrong to ask, and if they can reduce or strike it out. A surrender deadline was set to run out on Sunday, but after refusing to testify in a corruption trial, Jacob Zuma has shown no signs he will hand himself into the authorities. Vowing to protect Zuma against jail term, other protesters called for President Cyril Ramaphosa, the current president, to step down. Chad head of the military junta and President Muhammad Idriss Deby Itno left in Jamna on Sunday for a friendship and working visit to France, according to his office. The 37-year-old four-star general has been leading the Transitional Military Council, that's the TMC, of 15 generals since the death of his father, Idriss Deby, who ruled the country with the iron fist for 30 years, was announced on the 20th of April 2021. On Sunday evening, a dinner is planned between Mahamat Deby and French President Emmanuel Macron, a member of the Chadian delegation, told the press, on conditions of anonymity. France, the former colonial power in Chad, is the third country visited by the head of the military junta since he took power after the death of his father. This was after Niger and Nigeria. On to the Ethiopian Tigray conflict, where more than 7,000 Ethiopian soldiers captured by the Tigray Defense Forces have been paraded in a rare video that shows them walking towards the Mekelle Rehabilitation Center in the capital of Ethiopia's Tigray region. This is according to the Tigray Defense Forces, the TDF. The captive, the Ethiopian soldiers, walked from Abiy el-Shihar, about 75 kilometers southwest of Mekelle, the capital of Ethiopia's Tigray, for 4 days. Also, there are, however, claims that the number of captive soldiers may have been exaggerated, and they may in fact include some Eritrean and Somalian soldiers who are alleged to have fought on the side of the Ethiopian people and the Ethiopian army. The Tigray People Liberation Front levels marched into the city this week after local officials and the federal government troops pull out, and of course the government of the Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has since declared a unilateral ceasefire in the country. Dear televiewers, thanks for your kind attention. It has been Essential African Information. Remember, up next is the French edition. Stay tuned and have a good evening.